Hi everyone, a very good evening and welcome to today's live session. This is Gayatri here, and today the topic that we are going to be discussing is percentages, profit, loss and discounts from quantitative ability. A very important topic from quantitative ability, and as usual what we'll be doing in today's session is first we will skim through the basics of these topics and then we will go about solving questions from these topics. Okay, so and I hope all of you know that these concept sessions are sessions that we are organizing specially for the titanium students, wherein we will be handling different concepts from different subjects in each of these classes. Okay, and I hope that the mentoring sessions, right, that was planned is also up. I hope all of you have are planning to take up the mentoring sessions in the upcoming days. Okay, yes, so let's start today's session. So first we will discuss about percentages, then we will move into profit and loss. So first we will discuss the basics of these two, then we will go about solving questions from this topic. Okay, first let us look at percentages. Okay, so let us look at percentages first. Now what is percentage? First, what does percent means? Percent means for every 100, correct? So let's say that there is an exam in which the total marks in the exam is 60, right? The total marks in the exam is 60 and you have scored 30 marks. So what is the percentage of marks that you have scored? It is nothing but 30 divided by 60 into 100, correct? Or I can say that you have scored 50% marks in the examination, right? So this is the very basic of percentage that you should know, that percent means for every 100. Now there are a few basic formulas in percentage that you should keep in mind, right? See, if you have what is a percentage of b? See, a percentage of b is nothing but a by 100 into b, correct? Or this is what this is equal to b percentage of a, correct? See, what is b percentage of a? That is nothing but b by 100 into a. Both are the same, correct? Both are equal to ab by 100. So net I can say that a percentage of b is equal to b percentage of a, correct? These are some properties of percentages, right? Okay, percentage is always represented by this symbol. I hope you all know that. That's why I didn't say that specifically. Okay, so the next thing, similarly, what is x percentage of y percentage of k? What is this? This is nothing but x by 100 into y by 100 into k, that is equal to x by 100 percentage of k. Okay, so if in any question they are asking you what is 10% of 20% of some value, let's say 100, in that case you can directly take it as xy by 100% of k. Okay, similarly, now the next thing that, see, these are very basic properties of percentages that you should know. Okay, then same way, if I say that if I say b is, right, x percentage of a, then what percentage of a is b? See, if b is x percentage of a, then what percentage of a is b? How do you solve this? See, if b is x percentage of, means b is equal to x by 100, x percentage of a. So what percentage of a is b means, what percentage of a is b? X percentage of a is b, correct? Or I can say x is equal to b into 100 by a, correct? What percentage of a is b means here b is x percentage of a, or I can say x is equal to b by a into 100. Okay, now these are some stuff you know, you need to know. The next important thing, right, that you should know is how to calculate percentage changes. Okay, now see, questions like, let us say I am asking you a question that I am writing an examination. Okay, in the first attempt I am getting 30 marks in the examination. In the next attempt I am getting 40 marks. So what is the percentage change in my marks? So how do you solve it? See, the percentage change of any quantity is nothing but, is given by this formula. Okay, percentage change is equal to the actual change. Remember this formula, it will be very useful in lot of questions and topics, okay, and especially let's say in topics like data interpretation, this becomes very useful, okay. Percentage change is nothing but the actual change divided by the original value into 100, okay. Now in this example that we considered, first I got 30 marks, then I got 40 marks. So what is the percentage change in marks? So how much has the mark changed? From 30 marks it has become 40, correct. So the change is actually 10, correct, because my marks has increased by 10. So actual change is nothing but 10. What was the original value? That means what was the actual value? What did I get first? I got 30. Now it has become 40, correct. So 10 by 30 into 100, or this is equal to 33.33 percentage, okay. So this is the percentage change in my marks, okay. So whenever you are asked to calculate percentage change, keep this formula in mind. Percentage change is equal to the actual change divided by the original value into 100, okay. Yes. Now next what we need to know is how to calculate. Hi Santosh, good evening. We are just discussing the basics of percentages, Santosh, okay. Next thing is how to calculate percentage increase, okay. How to calculate percentage increase and percentage decrease, right. Same concept. See, if you know this previous formula that we learned, right, the formula for percentage change, actually this one formula is enough, but many times if you see in a lot of books and all, they give you separate formulas for percentage increase and percentage decrease. Concept is the same, okay. Okay, again, if you have, let us say that my marks, okay, it was earlier, it was 20 marks, okay, I got 20 marks in an examination. Now I have got 10 marks in the examination. What is my percentage decrease in marks? It is nothing but 20 minus 10 divided by, what was my earlier marks? It was 20, correct. 20 into 100. So that's going to be my percentage decrease in marks, correct. Similarly, if it was percentage increase in marks, like the previous case that we did, I had 30 marks earlier, then it became 40. What is my percentage increase in marks? Is nothing but 40 minus 30 by 30 into 100. Yeah. So just keep this in mind. Now the next thing that you need to know is, let us see how to represent this increase in percentage, okay. That is, for example, if I am saying that there is an article, okay, which costs X rupees. Now the price of this article is increasing by R percentage, okay. There is an article which is costing X rupees and the price of the article is increasing by R percentage. Then what is the current price of the article, or what is the current value of the article? See, whenever there is a percentage increase, okay, the final value is always taken like this, X into 1 plus R by 100, or that is equal to X into 100 plus R by 100. This is how you calculate the value after the increase in percentage. See, for example, if I am saying that there is a product which is costing 100 rupees. Now the price of this product is increasing by 20%. What is the current price of the product? So how do you do it? Just put it in this formula. It is nothing but 100 into 1 plus 20 by 100, correct. That is equal to 100 into 120 by 100, okay, or that is nothing but 100 into 1.2, that is equal to 120, okay. See, whenever such a question comes, immediately, see, these many steps you should not write. I am just explaining it to you because this is a basic concept that is involved at arriving at the answer. Now, if this question is actually coming in the examination, how you do it is, you just do 100 into 1.2, that's all, and you should take it as 120. Only this much you should write. I am just explaining it as to how we arrived at this 120, because this basic, if you have in your mind, then applying it in the examination will be easier, right? So whenever you have an increase in percentage, okay, the effective value or the net value that you get after the increase in percentage is nothing but X into 1 plus R by 100 or X into 100 plus R by 100. Similarly, I gave you an example also for this. Similarly, if there is an item which is costing X rupees and there is a decrease in its value by R percentage, the final value or the effective value is nothing but X into 1 minus R by 100, correct. That is equal to X into 100 minus R by 100. Now, same way, let us take an example. If I am saying that there is an article which is costing 100 rupees and its price is reducing by 20%. So what is the net price of the article. How do you do it? So it's nothing but 100 into 1 minus 20 by 100, correct? So that is equal to 100 minus 20, that is 80. So 100 into 80 by 100 or 100 into 0.8, that is equal to 80. Okay, so as I said again, when you do it actually in the exam, you should be doing this in one step without even writing so many steps. Okay, you should just write it as 100 into 0.8, that is equal to 80. Okay, see how am I doing that? See, there is a reduction in 20% of an article which is costing 100 rupees, means what is happening? The article is now worth only 80% of its value. So that's how I take it as 80% of 100 is equal to 80, correct? Okay, so I hope all of you are clear with these basics, right? Yes, and generally, you know, in DI you have such questions coming up like, see, X is what percentage more or less than Y. Okay, questions of this type. X is what percentage more or less than Y. Now whenever such questions come, how do you do it? How do you find out X is what percentage more or less than Y? It is nothing but X minus Y divided by Y into 100, right? This concept that we learn in percentages is generally used in a lot of questions in data interpretation. So remember this concept in mind. See, what are they asking? How have we done this? They are asking X is what percentage more or less than Y. So remember that they are asking what percentage X is more or less with respect to Y. So you should always take Y in the denominator. On the top, it has to be the difference between X and Y. Whether if it is Y is greater than X, then you do Y minus X. If X is greater than Y, then you do X minus Y. But remember, in the denominator, it has to be Y. Okay? Yes. Now, the next, so what did we see from the beginning? We just defined what is percentage. We saw one or two properties of percentages, right? Like A percentage of B is equal to B percentage of A. Then we did X percentage of Y percentage of K is nothing but XY by 100% of K. Then we discussed how to calculate percentage changes. Then we discussed how to calculate percentage increase and percentage decrease. Now, next thing that we have to learn is, very, very important, is how to calculate effective percentage. Okay, this effective percentage concept is very, very important, and you can use it in questions on percentages, questions on discounts, and questions in simple interest, compound interest, right? It has varied application. Now, what does this effective percentage mean? That is basically to any item, right, any variable, if you are applying successive percentage changes, okay, using this effective percentage formula, you can find out the net change in percentage in that article. Let us say, I am assuming that there is an article which is costing, let us say, 100 rupees. Okay, let us do it with an example itself so that it's very clear to us. Okay, there is an article which is costing 100 rupees. Now, in the price of this article, first there is a 20% increase in the price of the article. After that, there is again a 10% increase in the price of the article. Now, the question is, what is the net increase in the price of the article? So the price of the article first increases by 20%, then by 10%. What is the net increase in the price? So in this case, you cannot directly say that the net increase is 20 plus 10, that is 30%. No, that's not how we do it, right? See, actually, how do you do it? So if the article is 100 rupees, first what is happening? The price of the article is increasing by 20%, correct? So that is becoming 1 plus 20 by 100. See, don't do it like this. I want all of you to directly write this as 1.2. Okay. Now next, what is happening? There is a 10% increase in this price. So there is a further 10% increase in the price of the article. Further 10% increase means in this new price, right, there is again a 10% hike. Okay. So again I am doing into 1 plus 10 by 100, or this is 1.1. So what is the net increase now? It is nothing but 100 into how much has the price become? It has become 100 into 1.2 into 1.1, that is equal to 100 into 1.32. 1.32, that is equal to 132. So this is the new price of the article. Okay, see what I am trying to say is, if I say that there is an article for 100 rupees and the price of the article is successively increasing by 20% followed by a 10%, the new price of the article, you should not say that it is 130 just by saying 20 plus 10 is 30. So 30% increase means 100 into 1 plus 30 by 100, and that is equal to 130. No, that's not correct. It is actually 132. So you can say that this two these two increases, right, they account to 32% net increase. Now solving this problem, this is the actual way or the conceptual way of solving this particular question. Now if you know the formula for effective percentage, solving this question is very, very easy. You will get the answer in one step. So what is the effective percentage formula? What it states is this. Let us say an article, okay, its price or any quantity, right, that changes first by A percentage followed by B percentage. Here I am going to first assume that both are increasing, okay, the price or an quantity, okay, whatever we are considering. Here I am considering price. So the price of the article is increasing by A percentage followed by B percentage. So the net effective change in percentage is given by this formula, A plus B plus AB by 100. So in this question, what you need to do is, when you know this is the case 20% and then 10% increase, just do 20 plus 10 plus 20 into 10 by 100, correct? So this is equal to 30 plus 2, that is 32. So the net percentage increase is 32%. So what is 100, actual value was 100, so now it is increasing by 32%, means 1 plus 32 by 100, or that is nothing but 100 into 1.32, or the new price is 132. Directly you get the answer, okay. So this is the formula for effective percentage. If you know this formula clearly, solving questions become very, very easy, okay. Similarly, see if there is a decrease in value, okay, let us say that there is an item, its value is decreasing by A percentage, then followed by a successive decrease of B percentage, then I can say that the net decrease in value of the item using effective percentage concept is nothing but minus A minus B, okay, here it is again minus A into minus B, correct, by 100, or that is equal to minus A minus B plus AB by 100. See, whenever there is a decrease in percentage, put a negative in front of that value, okay, and then do, that's all, right. Formula is always the same, just remember this formula, A plus B plus AB by 100. This is the formula for effective percentage. Depending on the case wherein there is an increase in percentage, means this is plus A and plus B. If there is a decrease in percentage, put minus A and minus B. If there is decrease in only one value, let's say the quantity is increasing by A percentage followed by a decrease of B percentage, then how do I take the effective percentage? So A is positive, right? B is negative because it is decreasing. So the formula will be A minus B, here plus A is positive, B is negative, correct, by 100, or the formula will become A minus B minus AB by 100. So that will be the effective change in percentage. Okay, so remember these concepts on effective percentage. Depending upon whether the value is increasing or decreasing, put a negative sign before the values. Okay. Now, let us say in a lot of questions, they will give you 3 sets of values. Let us say that there is an article whose price is first increasing by A percentage, followed by an increase in B percentage, followed by an increase in C percentage. What formula will you use? So any of you who are there in this session, can you tell me? See, if there are 3 variables involved, in the sense there are 3 successive changes in a particular variable, okay, then how do you use this formula for effective percentages? I know only one formula. I know a formula for effective percentage is A plus B plus AB by 100. So if there are 3 such changes, what is the formula that you use? See, A plus B plus C plus AB by 100 plus AC by 100 plus BC by 100 plus ABC by. So this is the formula if you are using the 3 variables separately. This is one way of solving it, okay. Now sometimes remembering this formula might be difficult, right, I don't know. So what other way you can do it is, find the effective percentage of A and B, okay. You will get an answer, then the answer that you get, right, some answer that you get, find the effective percentage of this answer and C together. That will be the final answer. See, you can approach such questions in two ways. The first way, as I said, is just apply this formula. Okay, if you put it in this formula, you will get the answer correctly. But let's say you don't remember this formula, you are finding it very difficult to remember. The other way to do it will be like this. Okay, first find the effective percentage of A and B, right? That is, we will do A plus B plus AB by 100. Now the answer that you get here, right, that along with the C, find the effective percentage of these two. That will give you the answer. Okay, right? Other ways to use this formula. So I always feel that finding the effective percentage separately for two variables at a time is easier, because this is anyway calculative as well. Okay, so now let's look at, so these are the basics of percentages. Okay, with this we are coming to an end of the basics of percentages that you should know. Now next let us move on to profit, loss and discount. Okay, so let us look at the basics of profit, loss and discount, and then we will go about solving questions. Okay, now let us skim through profit, loss and discount fast. Let us, in profit, loss and discount, the most important thing is you should know certain terms, okay, and their definitions correctly. So first, cost price. Okay, what is cost price? The price at which a trader buys an article, right, or the actual cost of the article is generally called as the cost price. Okay, now next one, selling price. The price at which the trader sells the article, right, that is called as the selling price. So generally, if the cost price is less than the selling price, what does that mean? That is, for example, if I am saying that the cost price of an article is 100 and the selling price of the article is 120, then what is the trader doing? He is buying it for a lesser price and selling it for a higher price. So he is making a profit, right? So whenever the cost price is less than the selling price, the trader makes a profit. And what is profit? Profit is nothing but the difference between the selling price and the cost price, right? Profit is equal to selling price minus the cost price. So if I am buying an article, if a trader is buying an article for 100 rupees and selling it for 120 rupees, his profit is 20 rupees. Correct? Similarly, if the cost price is greater than the selling price, that is, the trader is buying the article for 100 rupees and selling it for 80 rupees, means here the cost price is 100 and the selling price is 80. That is, the selling price is less than the cost price. In such case, what is happening? The trader is making a loss, right? Now, what is loss? Loss is nothing but the difference between the cost price and the selling price, that is 100 minus 80, that is equal to 20. So now the trader is making 20 rupees loss, correct? He bought the item for 100 rupees and he is selling it for 80 rupees. So he is making a 20 rupees loss. Okay, so these are the first important definitions that you need to know. What is cost price, what is selling price, what is profit and what is loss. Next thing, what is marked price? Right? Now, whenever you buy an article from a shop, right, there is something called as MRP. This is generally called as the marked price or the list price. Sometimes marked price in a lot of questions is referred to as list price. So don't get confused. Marked price and list price both are the same. That is, the price that is printed in the article is generally called as the marked price. Okay, and many times that whatever price is printed in the article, that is the price for which you buy the article, correct? Now let us say I am buying a chocolate worth 100 rupees. So that is the price that is printed. 100 rupees is printed in the article and I am buying it for 100 rupees. So in that case, the marked price of the article is equal to the selling price, right, or the price at which the trader is selling. So both are the same. Now many a times what happens is there will be some sale that is happening in the company, in the shop, right? So what they will do, they will sell the article for a reduced price. Basically there will be a price that is marked in the article, but they will say no, we will give you at a reduced price. Okay, and the selling price of the article will be less than the marked price. Like for example, if there is an article which is for 100 rupees, right, they are saying that we are having a sale in our shop, so we are going to give this article to you for 80 rupees. Correct? So here the marked price is 100 and the selling price is only 80 rupees. Correct? So now marked price and selling price are not the same. So this is the case wherein discount comes into play. Correct? The difference between the marked price and the selling price is called as discount. Correct? The price that is marked in the article is 100. I am buying it for 80 rupees. Basically I am getting a discount of 100 minus 80 or 20. Correct? 100 minus 80, that is equal to 20 rupees. So discount is nothing but the difference between the marked price and the selling price. Now, so the next two important terms that you need to know is discount and marked price. Okay, the price that is marked in the article is called as marked price, and let us say if the article is on a sale, correct, and you get it at a reduced price, right? So that difference between the marked price and the selling price is called as discount. And always keep in your mind that discount is always calculated in terms of the marked price. Okay, so these are a few basic terms that you should know when it comes to profit, loss and discounts. Now, next thing is looking at these, right? What is profit percentage? What is loss percentage? Two other important things that you need to know. So what is profit percentage? See, what is profit? Profit is nothing but the difference between the selling price and the cost price. So again remember, profit percentage is always calculated in terms of the cost price unless and otherwise it is mentioned to calculate in terms of selling price. That is, always calculate the profit percentage in terms of the cost price unless they are saying something different in the question. So profit percentage is nothing but the selling price minus the cost price divided by the cost price into 100. That is, profit percentage is nothing but the profit. Selling price minus cost price is what? That is profit. Profit divided by the cost price into 100. Similarly, what is loss percentage? What is loss? Loss is nothing but the difference between the cost price minus the selling price. Also, the loss percentage is also calculated always on the cost price unless and otherwise mentioned. Correct? You know, cost price minus selling price is equal to loss divided by the cost price into 100. Okay, so this is the formula for profit percentage and loss percentage. Now, next what did we learn? We learned what is discount, right? Discount we learned it is nothing but equal to marked price minus the selling price. Now, what is discount percentage? See, I just told you discount is always calculated in terms of the marked price, right? Into 100. This is discount. This is how we calculate discount percentage. Okay? Yes. Now, next thing. Next, there is another concept that you need to know, that is called as successive discounts, right? Successive discounts is this. See, there is an article, okay? I am saying that there is an article which is costing 100 rupees. On this article, there are successive discounts that are given at 10% followed by 20%. What is the effective price of the article, right? So again, when successive discount question comes, see, please don't take it this way. Now the price of the article was 100 rupees, then I am giving successive discounts of 10% and 20% means my net discount is 30%. So what is the effective price of the article? Don't take it as 100 into 30 by 100, that is 30. So 100 minus 30 is equal to 70. So 70 is the effective price of the article. No, don't do it this way. This is not how you do. Like how we learned for effective percentage. See, what they mean by successive discount is that there is an article for 100 rupees on which first I am giving a 10% discount. So what is the price of the article now? It is nothing but, see, first I am giving 10% discount, that is reduction of 10%. So 1 minus 10 by 100, correct? So that is equal to 100 into 0.9, that is equal to 90. Right? So this is the price of the article now after I have given a 10% discount. Now in this 90 rupees again I am giving a 20% discount. That is what it means, right? See, don't think that this 20% discount is again given on this 100 rupees. No. This 20% discount is given on this 90 rupees, right? First I give a 10% discount on the article, I get a price. In that price I am further giving a 20% discount, correct? So 1 minus 20 by 100, that is 90 into 0.8, correct? So 90 into 0.8, that is equal to 72. So this is going to be the final price of the article after two successive discounts. Okay, so remember the concept of successive discounts. See, successive discount, each discount percentage is not given on the same 100 rupees. The discount percentage is given on the reduced price. Okay, like for example in this question, first I gave a discount of 10% on this 100 rupees, I got the price of 90, and this next 20% discount that I am giving is on this 90 rupees and not on this 100. Okay, now this concept of successive discounts easily again you can calculate using the effective percentage concept, right? So basically what are we doing? We are reducing by A percentage and reducing by B percentage, correct? Price successively. First you are reducing the price by A percentage followed by B percentage. So what is the net reduction in percentage? Just use the concept of successive discounts here, successive effective percentage here to get the final percentage. That is all. That is an easier way of solving such question on successive discount. So whenever questions on successive discounts come, you can make use of this concept of effective percentages. So let us take this question itself. So what is happening? First there is a 10% reduction followed by a 20% reduction. So what is the net price of the article? How much will it become? See, what is the net percentage reduction? It is nothing but minus 10. See, why am I putting minus here? Because there is a reduction in percentage, correct? Reduction, not increase. It is a decrease. So whenever there is a decrease in the effective percentage formula, you have to put negative in front of the given value, right? So minus 10 minus 20, here it will be minus 10 into minus 20, correct, by 100. So that will be minus 30 plus 2, that is minus 28. So these two percentage successive discounts will result in a total minus 28%. That means that reduction of 28% in total. That's what it means. This minus indicates that net there is a 28% reduction. So what will be the new price of the article? It will be 100 into 1 minus 28 by 100, or that is equal to 72. Again, you get the same answer, right? So questions on successive discounts, you can make use of this concept of effective percentage and solve. Okay, I hope the basics are clear. Now let's start looking at the questions. So now looking at the questions, the first question is there on your screen. So this question is on percentages. Okay, basic concept of percentages. The first question is this: there are 3 candidates contested an election and received 1136, 7636 and 11628 votes respectively. What percentage of the total votes did the winning candidate get? So what are they asking you here? See, there are 3 candidates, and who is the winning candidate here? The candidate who has got 11628 votes, correct? So what percentage of the total votes did the winning candidate gets? What is the total number of votes here? Total number of votes is nothing but 1136 plus 7636 plus 11628, or I can say that the total votes is equal to, just add, either you can use digit sum and add these numbers, or you can split it, merge the numbers like 11,000 plus 7,000 plus 1,100, that way, or do a digit sum method, right? When you add these, you get the total number of votes received to be 20400, correct? So this is the total number of votes. Out of this total number of votes, how much has the winning candidate got? He has got 11628, correct, out of 20400. So what percentage of the total votes has he got? 11628 divided by 20400 into 100, correct? Now, how do you solve at this point? These numbers, how will you solve? Because the percentages are also very close by, correct? See, you know this 11628 is definitely 50% more than 20400, but again here the options are 55, 56, 57 and 58. So how you can easily do it is try to split the percentages and do. Now what is 50% of 20400? You know it is 10200, correct? Now what is 5% of 20400? 5% is nothing but 1020, correct? Okay, now so what is 55%? 55% is nothing but 10200 plus 1020, correct? That is 11220. Okay, now so 55% is not the answer, then this option is eliminated. Now what is 1% of 20400? It is nothing but 204. Okay, so again that will give us 11424. So this is 56%, correct? 55% plus 1%. So 56%. Again, that is not the answer that we are looking at. So what will 57% be? 11424 plus again another 204. Correct? That will give you 11628. That is the number that is given in the question. So this represents 57%. So your answer is option C. I hope, how did you guys do it? Did you guys do it this way, or you actually divided it? See, actually dividing it would be tedious, right? So the best way to do such divisions would be to consider nearby percentages and then come to the required value. Okay, I hope it is clear. See, you needn't write so many steps. I have written to make you all understand. See, you know 50% of 20400 is 1020. 200, correct? Now I know what is 5% of 20400, that is nothing but 1020. 50% is this means 5% is 1020, and what is 1%? 204. That's also easy to find out. So just see what is 55% plus 1%, that gives you 56%. Again plus 1% will give you 57%, which is the required value. Okay. So the correct answer for this question is option C, 57%. Now next question. Total number of boys and girls in a school is 150. If the number of boys is X, then girls become X% of the total number of students. The number of boys is dash. So how do you solve this question? See, totally they have given that the number of boys and girls in a school is 150. Okay. Now if I am saying that there are X boys in the school, then how many girls are there in the school? 150 minus X, because you know the total is 150, correct? 150 minus X girls are there in the school. Now they are saying that if the number of boys is X, then the girls become X% of the total number of students. So this 150 minus X, which represents the number of girls, is equal to X% of the total number of students. Totally how many students are there? 150 students are there, correct? Yes. Now what is 150 by 100? It is nothing but 3 by 2. Or what is the value of X? Solve from here. That's all. You get 300 minus 2x is equal to 3x, or you can say 5x is equal to 300, or x is equal to 300 by 5, that is 60. So the question is number of boys. You have to find the value of x. So I can say x is equal to 60, that is option B. Next question. A person is working in a bank. He gets rupees 42,500 as salary. He has to contribute 10% of his salary in Provident Fund and 5% of his salary as TDS. What is his total contribution in PPF and TDS? So how do we solve this question? See, out of this 42,500 rupees salary that he gets, 10% he is contributing, followed by a 5%. So totally 15% of his salary he is contributing. So how much is he contributing? See, 42,500 into 15 by 100, right? This is the actual thing that he is contributing. Okay. Now either you can directly solve it like this. Even if you do it like this, you'll have to, the 0 zeros get cancelled and you'll have to do 425 into 15. Now another way of solving it is like this. A faster way would be like this. See, 42500 into 10 by 100, correct? 10% is giving, followed by again a 5% of the same amount he is giving, correct? So now how can you write this? This is nothing, you cancel this out. Okay. Now what is 5? 5 is nothing but 10 by 2, correct? So what are we doing here? How much is he giving? See, he is giving 4250. 425 into 10, that is 4250 plus 4250 by 2, that is half of 4250. What is half of 4250? Half of 4250 is nothing but 2125. So the final amount that he is giving is 6375. Okay, that is option B. Either you directly do it like this and solve again, but you will have to do multiplication here, big multiplications. So what I did was I split it as the percentages they have given itself and wrote. So first he gives 10%, then he gives 5%, correct? That is 10% of 42,500 and 5% of 42,500. See, remember in Speed Max we have learned any number, right, multiplied by 5, you can do it as the number into 10 by 2. That will ease the calculation. So I just wrote it like this, rewrote it like that and got the answer, right? That would be the smart way to approach this calculation. So the correct answer is 6375. Yes, everybody got it correctly. Next question. In a motor of 120 machine parts, 5% parts were defective. In another motor of 80 machine parts, 10% of the parts were defective. For the two motors considered together, the percentage of defective machine parts were dash. Yes, so how do we solve this question? See, first motor 1 has 120 parts, out of which 5% are defective. Now again, what is 5% of 120? See, again when you have to calculate 5%, 5, something into 5, do 10 by 2. Correct? So how do you do? So 120, 10% of 120 is what? 12 by 2, that will be 5%, or I can say there are 6 parts that are defective, right, in machine 1. Now look at machine 2, motor 2. In motor 2, there are totally 80 machine parts, out of which 10% are defective. So how many parts are defective? 8 parts. 10% of 80 is 8. So put together, how many parts are defective in total? When you combine both the machines together, there are 14 parts which are defective. And totally how many parts are there? 120 plus 80. That is, out of the total 200 parts, 14 parts are defective. So what percentage is this? That is what we are looking for, correct? For the two motors considered together, the percentage of defective machine parts were dash. That is nothing but 14 by 2. That is, it constitutes 7% of the parts, total parts. So the correct answer is option A, 7. Next. If 35% of A's income is equal to 25% of B's income, then the ratio of A's income to B's income is dash. Again, just write down the information given here, you will get the answer. 35% of A's income is nothing but, I am assuming A's income is A, okay. So 35 by 100 of A, that is equal to 25%, 25 by 100 of B. So what are they asking? They are asking you what is A by B. So A by B is equal to 25 by 35, that is equal to, so what is the answer for this one? It is option B, 5:7. Next one. If 40% of 4 by 5 of 3 by 5 of a new number is 48, then what is 1% of the same number? Again, what are they asking here? 40% of, see, of means multiplication, remember that, okay, of 4 by 5 of 3 by 5 of a number, let the number be x, and this is given as 48. You have to find the number. See, again, conversion of percentages to fractions. If you know that, solving a lot of questions becomes easier. So what is 40%? 40% is nothing but 2 by 5 in terms of fractions. How am I saying that? 40% means, see, in both 20 will go 2, 5 times. 20 2s are 40, 20 5s are 100. Similarly, if it is 60%, correct, I can say this is equal to 3 by 5. Right, 80%, I can take it as 4 by 5. If you convert these into fractions, many times calculations become easier, okay. So, one second, I think it is 3 by 4. I think there is a typo error here. It has to be 3 by 4. So, what will happen? This and this will get cancelled. So, you have 6 by 25, x is equal to 48. And again, when you, so you get x is equal to 200. Now the question is, what is 1% of 200? What is 1% of 200? It is 2, correct? See, 10% of 200 is 20. So 1% is 2. So the correct answer is option B, 2. Next one. Okay. Now this is a very common type of questions that come in percentages, and I get lot of queries from this type of questions in the forum. Okay, the price of rice has increased by 60%. In order to restore its original price, the new price must be reduced by dash. Okay, now solving such questions, there are lot of ways in which we approach it. Okay, lot of ways you can approach it. See, you can assume that price of rice is 100 rupees. Now price has increased by 160. It has increased by 60%, means it has become 160. So by how much should I reduce my consumption? So that in order to restore the original price, the new price must be reduced by what? So one way approach is using the numbers, right? Like take initial price of rice as 100, it is increasing by 60%, means it is becoming 160 and so on, right? That is one way of approaching these questions. Now this concept of effective percentages, right, that we learned, that will come in very useful to solve such questions. Okay, so let us try to solve this question using this effective percentage concept. Okay, now the price of rice has increased by 60%. In order to restore the original price, the new price must be reduced by what? So what is happening? There is a quantity which is first increased by 60%. Now this quantity has to be reduced by X percentage, so that the original price itself I am getting. Okay, basically that no change is happening, correct? See, I am increasing this quantity by 60% and then when I reduce it by X percentage, I get the original quantity itself. Basically, it nullifies the increase and there should be net there should be no increase, right? So, what is the effective percentage formula? Means effective percentage is nothing but A plus B plus AB by 100. So when I do this effective percentage concept, what is happening? There is the final price that I get, right? That should be the original price, or I say that there is no effective increase in the price, or this is equal to 0. Correct? Equate this to 0, put in the values and get the answer. So you get 60 plus X. This is minus, right? Decreasing. So they put a minus here. 60 minus X plus 60 into minus X by 100, that is equal to 0, correct? Or what do you get? You get 60 minus X minus 0.6X, that is equal to 100, I mean that is equal to 0, or you can say that 1.6X is equal to 60, or X is equal to, correct? So there has to be a decrease of 37, this X value of X is nothing but 37.5. So I have to reduce the the price by 37.5% so that I get the original price. Okay, so the correct answer is option B. I hope it is clear. See, what have they done? The price of the rice has increased by 60% and then they reduce it by X percentage so that the net increase is nullified and basically it is coming back to the original price, or the effective change in percentage is becoming 0. So I just equate this to 0, put in the values and get the answer. So X is 37.5%, or I can say that there is a decrease of 37.5%. Okay. Now the actual other way to do it will be like this. Assume that cost of rice is 100 rupees. So now it has become 160 rupees. So if you have to bring it back, correct? You have to bring it back to the original price. Original price is what? 100. So by how much have you should you reduce the price? So you have to reduce it by 60, right? 60 out of by 160 into 100. You should get the same answer. You can check that. 600 by 16. You will still end up getting the same answer. Is it clear? So this is the actual way in which you do it. You still get 37.5%. You can do it faster using the concept of effective percentage. The concept of effective percentage comes in very handy in such questions. Next question. Again, here also use the concept of effective percentage and solve. Due to the fall in manpower, the production in a factory decreases by 30%. By what percentage should the working hours per man be increased to restore the original production? So how do you solve this? See, due to fall in manpower, the production is decreasing by 30%. Now I have to increase it by X percentage so that I get the original production again. That means the effective change in percentage should become 0, correct? Once this happens, put it in the same formula. What will you get? You will get minus 30 plus X minus 30 into X by 100, right? That should be equal to 0. So you have minus 3000, correct? Or directly do it like this, 0.3, that will be easier. So minus 30 is equal to minus 0.7x, or x is equal to 300 by 7, correct? That is equal to 42.85. So the answer for this question is 42.85. So this x is 42.85, that is option C. Okay, same concept like we did for the previous question. Next one. The price of an article first decreased by 20% and then increased by 30%. If the resulting price is 416, then what was the original price of the article? Again, you can use the concept of effective percentages here. See, articles, what was the effective change in the percentage? First it decreased by 20% followed by an increase in 30%. So the effective change is nothing but minus 20 plus 30 minus 600 by 100, correct? So or there is a 10, this is 10 minus 6, that is 4. So there is net 4% increase, okay, in the actual quantity. So if the actual price of the article was X, the price has increased by 4%. So increased by 4% is nothing but X into 1 plus 4 by 100, or you can take it as 1 X into 1.04, correct, and this is given as the resulting such price is given as 416. Find out the value of x, that's all, correct. So 416 by 1.04, that is equal to, when you solve it you get it as 400. So x is equal to 400. The other way to do it would be to check with the options also, right, but this is a better way. Again, you can check with options also, nothing wrong. Assume that the actual price is 400, then what is happening, there is an increase in 20%. I mean, first decreased by 20%. So what is 10% of 400? It is 40. So again, 20% decrease means 80, correct. So 400 minus 80, that is 320 will be the new price. Now in this there is a 30% increase. So 30% increase means what is happening? Sorry, you get 320, correct, not 420, you get 320. So 320, 32 into 3 will be 96. 320 plus 96, you will again get it as 416. So see, what I am trying to say is check with the options. That is the other way to solve it. Either use this method or check with the options. That is, so what you do is, if I am checking this option 400, how will I check with my options? If you are asking me that, this is how you do it. Okay, if you have 400, first the price is decreasing by 20%. So 10% of 400 is 40. 20% of 400 is 80. So 400 minus 80 is 320. Okay, now in this 320 there is a 30% increase. 10% of 320 is 32, and so 30% is nothing but 32 into 3, that is 96, correct, that is 30%. So what will be the new price? 320 plus 96, which again gives you 416, which is the value that is given in the question. So this is your correct answer. This is the other way in which you check with the options. Okay, hope it's clear. Next question. So now we are moving on to profit, loss and discounts. Okay, so profit, loss and discounts. This question is a very basic question. A dealer marks a washing machine for rupees 7,500 and allows a discount of 6% on it. What is the selling price? So marked price of the washing machine is given as 7,500. Discount percentage is given as 6%. You have to find the selling price. What is the selling price? See, selling price is nothing but the marked price into, in this marked price, you are reducing the price by 6% on the marked price. Right? There is 1 minus 6 by 100. Again, don't write it like this. You should be say this is 0.94. You should be able to say it this way. Okay, we cannot waste time writing like this. Alright, I think once you start doing problems on percentages, directly 6% discount means it is nothing but 94% of the value of the article. Correct? So that is nothing but 7,500 into 94 by 100. That's the answer that you are looking at. Okay. Now again, see, most important thing when it comes to such question is calculations. Okay, how fast you are able to calculate. Again, if you are solving it this way, what you have to do 75 into 94. Nothing wrong in doing it, you can do it. But if you try to approach the question little differently, I think calculations will become easier. Okay. Now see, basically you have to reduce 6% of 6% of the value of this article, correct, to get the final answer. So what is 1% of 7,500? I'll write it down here, okay, so that it's clear to you. See, you can do it in your mind, but at times what happens is when I do it in my mind, you might not understand. That's why I'm writing it down. What is 1% of 7,500? It is 75. Correct. Now what is 6% of 7,500? It is nothing but 75 into 6. Correct. That is 450. So from the 7,500, I have to reduce 6% of the value of the article. That is my answer that I am looking at. That's all. This is what we did. Alright. That is the same answer that you get here also. So this is one way in which you can do the calculations faster. So option B. See, you are free to use whichever method you feel like. You feel this is easier, less confusing, please follow that. But if you feel this is better, use that. Okay. I am just giving you more options in which you can approach the question. But again, all of these methods that you follow, it will come only with practice. Just by doing one problem like this in the class is not going to help. Whenever you practice questions, you follow the particular method that you are comfortable in, then you will get speed in doing that method. Next question. Loss of 20% on the selling price is equal to X percentage loss in the cost price. What is X? Again here look at this question. Generally what did I tell you? Whenever you are asked to find the profit or loss percentage, in general you will consider profit or loss in terms of cost price. Okay, but in this question what have they given? Loss of 20% on the selling price. Very clearly they have given. So here in this question you are calculating the loss on the selling price. So loss of 20% on the selling price means, how are you getting this 20%? This loss of 20% is nothing but the cost price minus the selling price divided by the selling price into 100. This is given as 20, right? Now they are saying that is equal to X percentage loss in the cost price. Now they are saying that this is equal to X percentage loss in the cost price, means cost price minus selling price by cost price into 100. Now this is the actual loss in the cost price, correct? This is loss percentage with respect to selling price, and this is the loss percentage with respect to the cost price. Now what have they given? This loss of 20% on the selling price is equal to X percentage loss in terms of cost price. Okay, now first before we start solving it, let us first simplify this expression, whatever is there here on top. So what do you get? See, you get cost price minus selling price, correct, is equal to 20 into the selling price divided by 100, or this is equal to 0.2 selling price, or I can say cost price is equal to 1.2 times the selling price, correct? Okay, so this is the relationship between cost price and selling price that I get, right? I get cost price is equal to 1.2 times the selling price. Now what are they saying? They are saying that loss of 20% on selling price is equal to X percentage loss in the cost price. Okay, now same case, okay, when you are doing cost price minus selling price by cost price into 100, you are getting this as X percentage. That's what they are saying, correct? So now using the first equation, I found out the relationship between cost price and selling price. Put that in this equation, that's all. Okay, you have to find X. Put that here, you will get the value of X. So what is this? You have cost price is equal to 1.2 times the selling price minus the selling price divided by 1.2 times selling price into 100. I am putting everything in terms of selling price so that they'll all get cancelled, right? So I get 1.2 minus 1, that is 0.2 by 1.2 into 100, that is equal to X, or I can say 100 by 6, that is equal to X. So what is 100 by 6? It is 16.66, or that is 16.2 by 3%. Okay, correct answer is option C. Now let me just explain once again to those of you it is not clear what they have asked. See, loss of 20% on the selling price is equal to X percentage loss in the cost price. Basically, there is an item which has a particular cost price and a particular selling price. Now, for this item, when I am calculating the loss in terms of the selling price, I get a loss of 20%. For the same item with the same cost price and selling price, if I calculate the loss in terms of the cost price, the loss that I get is nothing but X percentage. Now they are asking me what is the value of X. So what did we do? We first took this equation, found out the relationship between cost price and selling price, and then I put this value of cost price here. I wrote everything in terms of selling price in the second equation and got the answer. Okay, correct answer is option C. Next question. A tradesman sold an article at a loss of 20%. If the selling price had been increased by rupees 100, there would have been a gain of 5%. The cost price of the article was dash. So what's given here in this question? A tradesman sold an article at a loss of 20%. So if I am saying the cost price of the article is X rupees, what is the price at which he is selling it? He is selling it for 0.8x, correct? Basically he is selling it at a loss of 20%, means he is selling it for 80% of his value, that is nothing but 0.8x. Now if the selling price had been increased by 100, there would have been a gain of 5%. So what does that mean? If the selling price was increased by 100 means now the selling price is 0.8x plus 100. In this case what would have happened? There would be a net gain of 5%. So actually what would have happened? See, if the cost price was X, he would have actually sold it for X into 1.05. correct? See how, you know how I write this? 5% gain. Gain is always calculated in terms of the cost price. So the new value, that is the actual selling price, would have been 5% gain he is getting on the cost price, means his selling price is nothing but x cost price into 1 plus 5 by 100, or that is cost price into 1.05, correct? So this is equal to x into 1.05. Solve for this and get the answer, find the value of x, correct? You take it this side, so you have 1.05 minus 0.8, that is 0.25x, that is equal to 100, or you can say x is equal to 10,000 by 25, that is equal to 400. Correct answer is 400. Yes, again this question you can also check it with the options. This is one way of approaching. Now if you are not able to approach it this way, take the options and see. See, if you are taking the cost price as 400, he is selling it at a loss of 20%, means how much will he sell it for? 10% of 400 is 40, 20% is 80, so he is selling it for 320. Now if the selling price is increased by 100, so now what he has done, 320 plus 100. So if the selling price was 420, then he would have gained 5%. So 420 and 400. How much percentage is that? See, you know 10% of 400 is 40. So 5% of 400 is 20. Seems to be correct, right? Seems to be satisfying. So you can say this is the correct option. That is how you check with the options. If you are not checking with the options, do it using this way. Okay? Next one. A bookseller sells a book at a profit of 10%. If he had bought it at 4% less and sold it for 6 rupees more, he would have gained 18.3 by 4%. The cost price of the book is dash. So how do you solve this next question that is there on your screen? A bookseller sells a book at a profit of 10%. If he had bought it at 4% less and sold it for rupees 6 more, he would have gained 18.3 by 4%. The cost price of the book is dash. So one way as usual is check with the options, but I am not going to do that for this question because there are a lot of calculations involved even if you are checking it with the options. So how we are going to try it is, I am going to assume that the cost price of the book is 100 rupees. If it is 100 rupees, the bookseller is selling it at a profit of 10%. So what is the price at which he is selling? He is selling it for 110 rupees. Now they are saying that if the cost price was 4% less, or if the cost price was 96 rupees and he sold it for 6 rupees more, he would have gained 18.3 by 4%. Now I am not going to take the 6 rupees here. So if I assume that the cost price is 100 rupees, okay, and the selling price is 110, correct? Now if the cost price is 96, when he sells, he should gain 18.3 by 4%. So what should be his selling price? His selling price has to be 96 into this. What is 18.3 by 4%? 18.3 by 4 is nothing but 75 by 4%, correct? So when he is selling, right, the article which he has bought for 96 rupees, he is gaining 18.3 by 4%, or he is gaining 75 by 4%, means his selling price will be 96 into 1 plus 75 by 4, correct? 400. Or how do you do it? It is nothing but 475 by 400. I have written this here directly, okay. So see, when he is buying the article for 96 rupees and he is selling it at some selling price, he is gaining this much percentage. So what is his selling price? It is nothing but 96 into 475 by 400, that is 1 plus 75 by 400, right. So this is actually 25 will go in both of these, correct. 25 will go here 16 times, here 19 times, this is 6, or this is equal to 114. So what has happened here? See, if I assume that the cost price was 100 and the selling price was 110 in the earlier case, now if the cost price is 96, the selling price is becoming 114. So what is happening? What is the difference in the selling price? See, actually there is a 4 rupees difference in the selling price, correct. Now in the question they have given that there is a 6 rupees difference in the selling price. So you have to find out the cost price of the book. See, when the cost price was 100 and all these things happened, there was 4 rupees difference that occurred in the selling price. Now the question is, when a 6 rupees difference happens, okay, what is the cost price? It is nothing but 100 into 6 by 4. that is equal to 25 into 6, that is 150. Okay. So the answer is option C, 150. See, what I tried to do was, either you can take the cost price to be x, selling price to be 1.1x, then you say that cost price is 0.96x and the selling price is 0.96x into this 470 by 400 and solve. Right. Now, instead of doing that, to make the calculations a bit easier, what I tried to do was, I assumed that if the cost price is 100 and the same conditions happen, what would be the difference in the selling price? Like if I sell it for how many rupees more will I get this gain? That's what I checked, and I got that if I sell it for 4 rupees more, right, the selling price, I would have gained 18.3/4%. Now, this is the case wherein I am taking the cost price to be 100. Now, if I have that some x rupees more, right, if that is becoming 6 rupees, then what should be the cost price? I just cross multiplied and got the answer as 150. The other way to solve, as I said, would be to check up with the options. Okay. Next question. A man sells 2 watches at rupees 99 each. On one he gets 10% profit and on the other he loses 10%. His net gain or loss percentage is dash. So here how you approach this question is, see, one way to approach it is, selling price of the first article is 99, selling price of the second article is also 99. So in this he is making a profit of 10%, right, in this he is making a loss of 10%, and then solve. Okay. Now this is very time consuming and in the exam you are not going to have time to do this. Okay. Whenever such question comes, remember this formula. Okay. If 2 items are sold each at x rupees, let's say there are 2 items, you are selling the 2 items, each of the 2 items at x rupees. Okay, that is the first item is sold at x rupees, second item is also sold at x rupees, and one item is sold at a gain of p% and the other item is sold at a loss of p%, then the overall, the net transaction, right, for the transaction net there is going to be a loss, and the loss is given by p squared by 100. Remember this. Okay. Whenever such a transaction happens, right, 2 items each are sold at x rupees, and in one item there is a gain of p% and in the other item there is a loss of p%, then the net transaction will always be a loss, and the loss percentage is given by p squared by 100. So here just put it in the formula. What will you get? It is going to be a loss, and the loss is given by 10 squared by 100 or 1%. So 1% loss will be your answer. That is option A. Next one. A fruit seller buys oranges at the rate of rupees 10 per dozen and sells at the rate of rupees 12 per dozen. His gain percentage is dash. Very, very easy question, no? See, for 1 dozen, his cost price. What is his cost price for 1 dozen? Cost price for 1 dozen is 10. Selling price for 1 dozen is 12. So, what is his gain percentage? It is nothing but 12 minus 10 divided by 10 into 100. 20%, that's all. See, you needn't take the cost price of 1 mango and selling price of 1 mango and calculate. Correct? Per dozen they have given. Per dozen means 12 mangoes, right? 12 mangoes cost price is given as 10. 12 mangoes selling price is given as 12. So what is his what is his gain percentage? It is nothing but the selling price minus the cost price by cost price into 100. Directly take it as 20%. What I am trying to say is, don't try to find out 10 by 12 is the cost price of 1 mango, selling price of 1 mango is 12 by 12. Not required. Directly you can solve it like this. Okay. Correct answer is option B, 20%. Next question. So this is on successive discounts. We just discussed successive discounts, right? So successive discount, how will you do? You will always use the concept of effective percentages, because that is very easy to solve. So you have a discount of 20% followed by a discount of 10%. So what is the equivalent discount? It is nothing but discount, right? So I am putting minus 20 minus 10 plus 20 into 10 by 100, that is equal to minus 30 plus 2, that is minus 28%. So the effective discount is 28%, right? Option A. Next question. A shopkeeper sells 2 varieties of coffee. He sells first at a profit of 20% and the second one at a loss of 50%. In this case, there is neither profit nor loss. If he sells the first one at a loss of 10% and the second at a gain of 20%, then his loss is rupees 2. Find the initial cost price of the first variety of rice. So, how do we solve this? See what is given here. Let me assume that the first variety, right? First variety of coffee, let that cost X rupees, and the second variety of coffee, let that cost Y rupees. Okay. Now, a shopkeeper sells two variety of coffee. He sells the first one at a profit of 20%. So, the selling price, right, of the first variety is 1.2x. And the second one at a loss of 50%. So, the selling price of the second variety, 50% loss means he is selling it only for 50% of its value, correct? So, he is selling it for 0.5y. Now, in this case, he is saying there is neither profit nor loss. What does that mean? That means that the sum of the selling price of both the articles put together is nothing but equal to the sum of the cost price of both the articles. See how much does both these coffees cost? They will cost X plus Y rupees. This is his cost price. Now, when he is selling them at these prices, this net answer that he gets, right, that is the net selling price, that is equal to the cost price. That's why you have no profit and no loss, correct? So, what can you say here? You can say 0.2x is equal to 0.5y, or you can say x by y is equal to 5 by 2. So, whatever is given in the first statement, this is what I am able to say. Now, look at the next statement. If he sells the first one at a loss of 10% and the second one at a gain of 20%, then his loss is rupees 2. So, now what is he doing? He is selling the first one, right? He is selling the first one at a loss of 10%, means he is selling it for 0.9x. And the second one, he is selling it at a profit of 20%. So, he is selling it at 1.2y. Now, when he is doing this, what is his net selling price? It is nothing but 1.2y plus 0.9x. Now, when he is doing this, he is incurring a loss of rupees 2. So, what is loss? Loss is nothing but the cost price minus the selling price. Now, that becomes 2. What is his cost price? His cost price is going to be x plus y, correct? So, this is equal to x plus y minus 2. Isn't that so? This is the selling price, this is the cost price, this is the loss, right? You know, loss is equal to the cost price minus the selling price. I have rewritten it like this and written. Okay, that's all. Okay. So, this is what you get, or what can you say here? You can say that 0.1x minus 0.2y, that is equal to 2. Now, this is what you get from the second information that's given. You know here x by y is equal to 5 by 2. Find out the value of x. Let's substitute here. What do you get? You get what is y in terms of x? Y is equal to 2 by 5x. Put that here. So, you will get 0.1x minus 0.2 into 2 by 5 y, that is equal to, means 2 by 5x, that is equal to 2. Solve for x and you will get x to be 0.5x minus 0.4x, that is equal to 10, or you get 0.1x, that is equal to 10, or x is equal to 100. So, what is the question? Find the initial cost of the first variety of coffee. It is 100. That is the correct answer. See, I will just explain what I did. What is given in the question? First case, they say that I assume that cost price of the first variety is x, cost price of the second variety is y. Now, selling price earlier was 1.2x and selling price of the second variety was 0.5y. Now, in this case, he made no profit, no loss. That means the selling price is equal to the cost price, and I got this. Next one, what is he saying? He is selling the first one at 90% of its price and the second one he is gaining 20%. So, at this time also he is making a loss of 2 rupees. That is the cost price minus the selling price is equal to 2, or I just wrote selling price is equal to cost price minus the loss, correct? I equated both the equations. I wrote everything in terms of x and found out the value of x. So, this is one way in which you solve this question. The other way to approach this question would be to go with the options. Okay. Now, assume that I am going to go with the options. Let us take option 60 and see. Okay. Now, what are they saying? So, this 60 here is, I am assuming that it is the correct answer. Okay. If that is the correct answer, that is the cost of the first variety of coffee. Okay. So, the person is the person is the first variety, right? That is the C1. I am taking it as 60. Now he sells the first variety at a profit of 20%. So what is 20% of 60? It is 12 rupees, correct? So he is selling this at 12 rupees more, okay, or he is selling it for 72 rupees. So basically I am selling it for 12 rupees more, and the second one at a loss of 50%. Okay, now what you have to remember here is that when he is doing this, there is a no profit, no loss. So what does that mean? This loss of 50% that he is doing in the second case is equal to this 12 rupees. Then only both of that gets nullified and there is no profit, no loss. Or what can I say? I can say that 50% of that cost of that article is equal to 12 rupees. Or I can say C2's cost is 12 into 2, that is 24 rupees. Okay. So by using using the condition that when he is selling the first type of coffee for 12 rupees more and he is selling the next one at only 50% loss, right? He is selling it at 50% loss and there is no profit, no gain. So what does that mean? That means that this 20% profit or this 12 rupees accounts for this 50% loss that he has made. Then only you will have no profit, no loss case, correct? So using that you can say that the cost price of the second variety is 24. Now next what are they saying? Now if he sells the first one at a loss of 10%, that is loss of 10% means the first one now he is selling it for 60 minus 6, that he is selling it for 54 rupees. When he is selling it for 54 rupees and the second one at a gain of 20%. So gain of 20% means 24 plus 4.8, correct? Yeah, because 10% of 24 is 2.4, 20% is 4.8. So now he is selling it at 28.8 rupees. Okay, and what are they saying? His loss is rupees 2. What is his total? What is his total cost price? Total cost price is 60 plus 24. Now total selling price is 54 plus 28.8. But the difference is definitely not 2. So this option is wrong. Now check with the next option. Okay, see, I am explaining to you how to check with the options. Okay, now if you take this option 100, how will you get? Let me just erase whatever is there here. So if I take this option 100, what do I get? The cost price of the first one, that is 100, means he is selling it for 20% profit. Means what does that mean? He is selling it for 120 rupees, right? So this 20 rupees profit that he is making on this article, right, it accounts to the 50% loss that he is making in the second one. So what can I say? I can say that the cost price of the second article is nothing but 20 into 2, that is 40. That will be the cost price of the second variety. Okay, then only he will make a no profit, no loss. Now what is he saying? If he sells the first one at a loss of 10%, that means now he is selling the first one at 90 rupees and the second one at a gain of 20%. So second one, selling price, right? So selling price of the second one at a gain, that is in 40, 10% is 4, so 20% is 8. So he is selling this for 48 rupees and then they are saying that his net loss is going to be 2 rupees, correct? So here he has 90 plus 40, that is 138. This is his total selling price. Here his total cost price is 140. So the net loss is 2 rupees, correct? This is his total cost price, total selling price. So this is the correct option. So that is how you check it with options. See, if you feel that doing the calculations that I did in the first method is too calculative, then the best way to go would be to check with the options. Next one. A shopkeeper earns a profit of 12% on selling a book at 10% discount on printed price. The ratio of the cost price to the printed price of the book is dash. So what is given here? A shopkeeper earns a profit of 12%. So what is the selling price? Selling price is equal to 1.12 times the cost price. Okay, because he is earning a profit of 12%. Selling a book at 10% discount on the printed price. See, what is the selling price? Selling price, in the selling price is nothing but whatever is the marked price, on that a 10% discount is given, or 0.9 times the marked price is equal to the selling price. Basically, for this question, I wrote the selling price in terms of the cost price and also in terms of the marked price. I can equate these two. So I can say marked price into 0.9 is equal to cost price into 1.12, or the ratio between cost price to marked price is equal to 0.9 by 1.12, right? That is 90 by 112. 90 by 112, how will you, 2 will go in both, right? You can write it as 45 by 56. Option A. Okay, see, he earns a profit of 12% on selling a book, means that is, profit is always earned in terms of cost price. So I wrote selling price in terms of the cost price. Here they say they are talking about discount, so I wrote the selling price in terms of the marked price. Equate both, find the required ratio. Yes. Next one. A sells a suitcase to B at a profit of 10%. B sells it to C at 30% profit. If C pays rupees 2860 for it, then the price at which A bought it is dash. Again, see, all of these questions, right? Just by knowing this effective percentage concept, solving these questions become tremendously easy. I'm sure you should know that. If those of you, for whom this effective percentage is new, right? You can see it's just by using this method, you reduce so much of calculations. So again, see, there is an article. If I'm actually, how will you solve this question? So if the actual price of the article is X, correct? A is selling it to B at a profit of 10%. So X into 110 by 100, correct? And B, this is the price at which B is buying it, and B is selling it at 30% profit. So B is selling it at 130 by 100, and this is given as 2860. From this you have to find the value of X. How much calculations are involved? Now, since we are using this effective percentage concept, we can say that the net change in percentage is nothing but 10 plus 30 plus 10 into 30 by 100, that is equal to 43%. So now what is the price at which C is buying it? See, it is 2860. So the actual price was X into 143 by 100, that is equal to 2860, right? 143 into 2, correct, is 286. So I can say X is equal to 2000. That's all. How easy it is now to calculate, right? If we sit and calculate this way, see the amount of time that you will end up wasting. In this, you get the answer so fast. Correct answer is option C. Next one. So now we are moving to the last type of questions from this concept of profit and loss. This is wherein the questions on dishonest seller. Okay, let us look at this question first. A trader professes to sell his goods at a loss of 8%, but weighs 900 gram in place of a kg weight. Find his real loss or gain percentage. See, to solve these questions on dishonest seller, best way would be that understand the concept first, understand what they are trying to say in the question, and give in some values, and then try out the question. Then you will get the answer faster. Okay, so see, there are some formulas that we use. If it is a very basic problem, you can say that what is the gain percentage and all, you can directly use the formula, the error value divided by the true value into 100. Such formulas are useful only for very, very basic questions. So for such questions, if you know the concept, then solving it is very easy. So what is, first I am going to assume that, see, 1 kg, right? So I am going to assume that 1000 grams is actually costing 1000 rupees. Basically 1 gram costs 1 rupees. I am assuming that. And then what is the trader saying? He is professing to sell his goods at a loss of 88%. So what is he saying? He is selling that I am selling this 1000 grams at a loss of 8%. So basically I am selling this 1000 grams for 92% of its actual price, or I am selling it only for 920 rupees. So what is the trader saying? He is saying that I am selling 1000 grams for 920 rupees. Actual cost of this 1000 gram is 1000 rupees, but I am selling it for 920 rupees and I am making a loss of 8%. But what is the trader doing? See, he is weighing only 900 grams in place of 1000 grams. Correct? So he is actually, instead of selling 1000 grams, he is actually selling only 900 grams, and this 900 grams he is selling it for 920 rupees. Correct? What is the cost price of this 900 grams? The cost price of this 900 grams is only 900 rupees, but he is selling this 900 grams for this, he is selling it for 920 rupees. Correct? So what is his profit? He is actually making a profit. Correct? For items which actually cost only 900 rupees, he is selling them for 920 rupees. So what is his gain? His gain is nothing but the selling price minus the cost price, that is 20 divided by the cost price into 100. Okay, that is equal to 20 by 9 or 2.22 percentage gain. Correct answer is option B. So always follow this method, you will never go wrong, right? You can memorize the formulas that are available, but at times for a few questions the formulas might not be really useful because you will have to do some extra steps. So but if this concept is clear, no, solving any questions from this type is easy. See, what do I take? I take 1000 grams is costing 1000 rupees, or I say 1 gram is costing 1 rupee. So the trader says that this 1000 gram, by selling this 1000 gram, I am making a loss of 8%. So for actually goods which are worth 1000 rupees, he is saying he is selling them for 920 rupees. That's how he makes a loss of 8%. But in real time, with respect to weight, what is he doing? In place of 1000 grams, he is only selling 900 grams. So goods which are worth only 900 rupees, he is selling them for 920 rupees. So his gain percentage is nothing but 20 divided by 900 into 100, which is equal to 2.22% gain. Next one. Let us look at this question. A shopkeeper allows a discount of 10% on the marked price and still gains 17% on the whole. Find at what percentage above the cost price did he mark the goods. Okay, so what is given here? 10% discount on the marked price. Okay, so and net he is gaining 17% on the whole, means his selling price is nothing but 1.17 times the cost price, right? Now this is equal to, now again selling price in terms of the marked price, how can I write? They are giving a 10% discount on the marked price, means he is selling it for 90% of the marked price, right? So this is, I can say that the selling price is equal to 1.17 times the cost price, that is equal to 0.9 times the marked price. Okay, so what are they saying? So if actually to do this, why don't we assume the cost price to be 100? Then it will be easier. No, let us take cost price as 100. So if cost price is 100, right, what is the selling price? Selling price is 117. Okay, and now again this 117, that is equal to 90 by 100 times the marked price. So what is the marked price? Marked price is equal to 117 into 100 by 90, correct? So you get this as 130. Marked price is 130. So what are you getting here? If the cost price is 100, you get marked price is 130. So marked price is how many percentage more than the cost price? 30% more, correct? The marked price is 30% more than the cost price. Okay, so directly you can say, instead of doing it like this, if we put in values, no, get the answer faster. Correct answer is 30%. So he marked his goods 30% more than the cost price. So I think with that we are coming to an end of the questions chosen for today's session. So was all the questions clear to all of you? So I'll just skim through what we discussed today. So first we looked at percentages followed by profit, loss and discounts. So we learned all the basic formulas that you should keep in mind and all the terms that you should keep in mind. So when it comes to percentages, a very important concept to keep in mind is the concept of effective percentages, which will come in handy in a lot of cases. I mean, lot of topics like simple interest, compound interest. Again, in profit, loss and discounts itself, when you do successive discounts, this concept of effective percentage becomes very useful. Okay. Then we moved on to profit, loss and discounts. We learned the basic terms. What is cost price, selling price, marked price, discounts. Then what is profit percentage, loss percentage, discount percentage. Then we discussed what is successive discount. Okay, so and then we started solving questions from these topics. Then another important section that we covered in profit, loss and discounts was wherein the dishonest seller problem, wherein false weights are being used, right? So questions of that type. Now with that, I think that is what we covered today, and we have covered these topics completely. So I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay guys, so that is it from us for now, and I will see you in the next session, and this is Gayatri signing off till then.